Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Man, I love that intro. I think it's so fun. Anyways, today I am doing an artwork. Well, I'm showing you guys an artwork I did of the street in Europe. I don't remember where because it was like 2 years ago, and all I remember is I was in an art district where there was like a bunch of street artists, and then we hopped on this train to get back to um, the place we're staying at, and then I saw this really cool street and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I was like trying to take a bunch of pictures, and this was probably the best one given that the train was moving. So I really liked it. And I was like, I'm gonna paint this. So I painted it originally in my sketchbook, and then I liked it. I liked the way I approached the artwork so much that I decided to take it into a full size. This sheet is 8 by 10, but the border is like an inch thick, so you can do the math. But yeah, so on the train we were like actually like waving to cyclists, and it was so fun. It was just a good time, and I love vacationing. But anyways, not doing any of that this year, being safe. But quickly gonna touch up on the topic of my art vlog or my studio vlog, whatever you want to call it. I do not know how many I'm gonna make every month, maybe 2 or 4, I'm not sure yet, probably somewhere in between. But this artwork was actually in my first art vlog. You'll probably see this in the thumbnail. But in the video, I did talk about like my plans. This artwork took me one day, which I mentioned in my art vlog that it was surprising because I was actually planning on doing this in 2 days, but I was very motivated to do so. But anyway, if you want more of a vlog style where you actually can see me planning my day kind of thing, you can check that video out. But in this video, I'm gonna be talking about my choices for this artwork, and then I'm probably gonna play some music because I don't know if I can talk for straight up 12 minutes about this artwork. But yeah. Anyway, so this artwork, as I mentioned, it's a picture from Europe. And the way I decided to tackle it was to start with pencil. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but to be honest, sometimes I feel like when I, at least, tell me if you guys can relate, but when I make a pencil sketch, like I think it looks good and then I fine line it right away, and then I'm in the middle of fine lining, I realize I missed a few lines. I'm like, oh my gosh, why could I have not picked this up when I was doing the pencil sketch? So that's normally why in between my pencil sketch and my fine lining, I take like an hour break so you can get like fresh eyes. I feel like if you do art straight for like 5 hours, your art's just gonna look very the same to you. If you kind of leave it and go back to it, I personally feel like it helps a lot because then you pick up on the little things and then you can fix it before you post it on social media or just finish it or something like that. But yeah, so then I went in with my Sakura Pigma Microns. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in almost all of my sketchbook challenges, but I am in love with these. I don't know if it's because I haven't found anything better. Like, I've used the Copic ones, but the only thing is that those ones, in my personal opinion, tend to be a little bit drier. These ones are very juicy. Although I will say these ones I'm holding right now in my hands are also like a year and a half old, so they're a little bit dry, but I think the dryness gives it some texture in the end where I like go in with the shading. Oh, just a little bit. Like my 0.3 is pretty dry, but I do have backups, so we'll be busting those out. But yeah, I used the typical 0.5, 0.3, 0.1, and that's normally what I use because there's like a set. If you live in Canada, or I'm pretty sure if you live anywhere, most art stores will have this Pigma Micron or this fine liner in a set of 3 with those 3 sizes, and they're just they're very standard, easy to use sizes. Like, those are normally what you would use for any like size illustration, so I highly recommend if you're into that. But I have heard people having issues with them like bleeding, but this artwork is mainly fine liner and it's not really watercolor. Well, it's not watercolor, it's gouache, acrylic gouache, so it's definitely not watercolor. But yeah, and the thing that also made this artwork really easy to do, it probably would have taken me longer if I had a different paper. This one is the fluid paper. I'm not sure which series it is. I think it's 400 or the 300. I don't remember. I'll link it down below. But this is the hot press version. Hot press is a lot smoother, so it works better in my opinion when you're doing like very heavy fine liner. Like obviously you can use cold press, but I just struggle with cold press and fine liner. But because this wasn't actually a watercolor piece, it was a gouache piece, the gouache sits much better on the hot press. Well, it doesn't sit better, but it sits better than watercolor would because of the warping, I mean. So I went with hot press and I do not regret it. The illustration looks so smooth and it almost looks like I printed it. Like it's really, really cool. It gives a nice effect to it. And the gouache sits very smooth on top. So yeah, for gouache, I end up using my only gouache, which is the Holbien Acrylica gouache, or Acryla. It's called Acryla gouache. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. But it's called the Acryla gouache, and it's like the only gouache I have right now, but I did order Winsor & Newton gouache, so I will be doing a review soon when I get them. So hopefully it'll be up in like 2 weeks, fingers crossed. So if you want to see that, feel free to stay subscribed, like no big deal, just a button. But anyways, I end up using 3 colors. It's complicated. So the original illustration, I was like, I couldn't remember if I used sky blue or primary cyan. I'm pretty sure I used a mix of the two. But I was like, you know what, maybe I'll go with primary cyan because it's brighter, it'll be more punchy, you know? But as you will see later, it was super, super bright. It was like brighter than my like future life, okay? Like it was so neon. I was like, this is not gonna work. So what I did was I did that first layer, and when I use acrylic gouache, I tend to personally water it down to get more of like a translucent feel, and then I'll like build it up. So I did my primary cyan layer. I mixed it with ivory white because I'm running out of white, and ivory white has more of a creaminess to it, and I ended up using ivory white for the lamps as well, so I guess ties it together. But yeah, so I did the first layer and I was like, no, it's too bright. So then I let it dry with my fan. I have like this fan in my room, and I literally just let it chill there until it was fully dry. And then I went over it with sky blue with a mix of ivory white until I kind of got the opacity I liked. And then yeah, that's how I kind of approached it. And then when I did the ground, I also used a mix with ivory white, so I used black and ivory white. So I realized that it tends to dry darker, this acrylic gouache. I mean, I should have known because I've been using it for a long time, but sometimes I just forget in the moment, you know? So I ended up doing the ground. I was like, oh, that black is too dark, like the front area. But then as I did the back, it balanced out, but I mixed a lot of ivory white and black, and I kind of went back and forth creating like this cobblestone, I think, this cobblestone pattern, kind of like dabbing. I didn't want to go too detailed because it's, you know, we're not like super close to this image, so it wouldn't look as realistic than what I did, in my opinion, for what I was going for. So I kind of went over the whole like thing, and then I added like my little textures, and let me tell you, painting around these cards was hard. Like painting around anything is just difficult in my opinion, especially because I don't have like, yeah, sure, this is like a round size too, but I don't have like those super thin brushes, and I tend to be a little bit careless when it comes to my illustrations. But today was a lucky day because it all worked out. The stuff that happened in my Mulan thing did not transfer to the other half of the day, and I had a good moment with this. Yeah, I didn't pass too many lines. Like it was just me going over some areas, and then it just worked. I was so happy. So then it's just me really building things up, like going back and forth. I added some darker gray, and I was like, oh, this is too much. Like it tends to look a little bit mechanical right now, and then I go over to kind of blend together. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the ground turned out. And then for the cards, I actually ended up doing a like fine liner. I ended up fine lining the windows to make it look more graphic, because as you can tell, everything kind of did not, it doesn't stick out right now. So I have to add all like the shadings and the little details to make it pop. And yeah, so that's all I'm going to talk about for the artwork. You'll see me going with the shading later. I had a blast painting this, and I may or may not make prints. I'm going to try to do a sister to this artwork and put them together, like in terms of like in a set. I'm still debating if I want to open an Etsy shop because I'm going to be making emotes soon, so stick around if you also want to see that. But the last thing I want to talk about is this washi tape. I was going to talk about it in the beginning, but I need like a moment of silence for this. This washi tape is so bomb. I got this from a store online on AliExpress. I'll link it down below. I also like showed a few of them in my vlog, but I will be doing a haul video when I get my other art supplies, when I get them. But yeah, I really liked it. This one's the thickest one I have, and it covered beautifully. It was like, this is like 2 inches thick, okay? It is like thick with the Reese's. It like covered my paper and the sides, and I was just, and it was pretty tacky too. Like, it didn't rip my paper tacky, but it was like tacky enough that I trusted that the gouache wouldn't cross that border, you know? Because like, you know when you do watercolor and like it just bleeds like through, and like it's not like a crisp nice line, it is so frustrating, and you just want it to be clean. But yeah, this one worked amazing, and it looked so good on camera. I normally use masking tape, but I find masking tape's a lot tackier, and it doesn't look as good on camera. And I wanted to give you guys a nice looking time lapse, so I used this tape, and I'm very happy with it. But yes, that concludes this artwork. I'm really excited. I'm doing art vlogs now. I feel like it's something new I can edit, so if you're interested, check that out. Otherwise, have a great day. Stay tuned for next time, and I'll be posting emote designs soon. So, bye!